In this lesson, we're going to look at how you can classify real numbers.
So what is a rational number? A rational number is defined as any number that can be written as a ratio, and let's underline ratio, of two rational numbers. So our rational numbers are going to include fractions, and this is going to be of two rational numbers. It's going to include our repeating decimals, the ones that go on and on and on, repeating itself, and then our terminating decimals, meaning that they stop. All right. So what are some examples then of these fractions, the repeating and the terminating decimals? All right, well, so our examples could include like 1/2. It could be like -2/3. It could include a number like just 5. It could include something like the square root of 81, because that is 9 times 9 is equal to 81. It could include something like 3.6 repeating, because that is a repeating decimal. It could include just like 2.438. It stops, and that would be our terminating decimal. So they can be positive, they can be negative. There are whole numbers and there are fractions. They are our terminating and our repeating decimals. All right, so our non-examples then are going to include these irrational numbers. And those are going to, we kind of define that as something that goes on and on without, they go on and on forever without repeating. All right, so examples would be like pi, 3.14, and that just goes on and on and on. This would be pi all over 5 written as a fraction. Notice pi, we just said, is not a rational number. It's irrational. So that means that if it's any place in your expression, that it is going to be irrational. The square root of 80. Because the square root of 80 is not a perfect square, what we call the perfect square. The square root of 81, 9 times 9 is 81, so square root of 81 is 9. And let's go down 1, 8 times 8 is 64, the square root of 64 is 8, and that's going to be a perfect square. Anything in between there, it's considered to be not a perfect square, and so it's going to be irrational. And then if I took something, sometimes you'll see it like this, 4.2183, and you might see the ... Those are all examples then of irrational numbers. All right, so now let's go ahead. We're going to classify these rational numbers into smaller categories. So we've got these whole numbers, we have the integers, and then we have just the basic rational numbers. So remember, the rational numbers are the fractions of two rational numbers. They are our repeating decimals, and they are the terminating decimals. So our whole numbers, this category right here, this is our positive whole numbers, meaning it's not a part. All right, so let's think of some examples that might include then like 6. If that's a whole number. It might include something like 12 all over 4, because 12 all over 4, that's 12 divided by 4, that's equal to 3. That would be a whole number. It could also be expressed as something like the square root of 25, because 5 times 5 is equal to 25. So now let's take a look at what an integer is. So right here, those integers. Integers include the positive and negative whole numbers. So it's all of the whole numbers. It includes 6, the 3, the 5, all of those types of numbers, but this means it's going to have the positive and negative whole numbers. So they're not fractions. All right, so that could then include things like -4. It could include the negative square root of 9, because that would be equal to then 3 times 3 is 9. So you'd have 3 and then the -3. And then it's also going to include then all those positive numbers as well, or the positive and the negative ones. All right, then our rational numbers, those, remember, are like they're not the whole numbers, but they're still rational. They're the repeating decimals, something like 3.6 repeating. We'd have like 3 all over 8. We could have something like -2.4581. Those would all be considered rational numbers. All right, so now let's take a look then at those irrational numbers. Remember, those irrational numbers, just like we had in our last slide, those are the numbers that go on and on forever without repeating. So let's just go ahead and we'll put these here too. We've got like the pi. We have the pi all over 5. We could have something like the square root of 12, because there's not something times something that is the same number that makes that. And we could have something like the 4.28679 and so forth.
All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to classify some of these numbers. First of all, let's determine 6. Is that going to be a rational number or an irrational number? Well, 6, it is a rational number, but then it can be broken down. Remember what we said about whole numbers. They're integers, and it's going to be a whole number. So it's a rational number that's a whole number that's also considered to be an integer. Where -12, we know that that's a rational number, but it's not going to be a whole number because it's negative. It's an integer, and then of course it's also considered to be a rational number. 3/6, well, that's a fraction, so we know that that's not going to be an integer or a whole number, but it is a rational number because it's written as a ratio of 2 rational numbers. 6 all over 3, well, that can be simplified down to 2. So, and that is a whole number, and whole numbers are also integers, and whole numbers are also rational numbers. The square root of 25. Well, that is a perfect square because 5 times 5 is equal to 25. So again, it's a whole number, and whole numbers are considered to be both integers and rational numbers. Well, let's look at the square root of 16 all over 25. That is equal to, square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of 25 is 5. So that simplifies down to a fraction, which is just a rational number. The next one we have 0.013. Well, that is a terminating decimal, so that's just going to be considered to be a rational number. And then we have 3.6 repeating. Well, that's a rational number because it is a repeating decimal, but they're not integers or whole numbers. All right, so now we've got pi. Well, pi was a big number that we had learned about last year. That is an irrational number. It goes on and on forever without repeating. So that's just going to go into the irrational column. Same thing with pi all over 2. It's written as a fraction, but both numbers are not rational numbers because pi right here is not rational. So that's going to be an irrational number. The square root of 2. Well, the square root of 2 is not a perfect square. So the square root of 2 is going to be an irrational number. And then negative square root of 81. Well, the square root of 81 is 9, so we'd have -9. Well, that would be then an integer, and it would be considered to be a rational number.
All right, so let's determine if the sum, difference, product, or quotient is rational or irrational. Now, if any part of this is irrational, the whole thing is going to be irrational. So let's take a look at 5.6 plus 8.4 repeating. Well, 5.6 is a terminating decimal. That's rational. 8.4 is a repeating decimal. That's rational. So that means that the sum of it, adding it together, is going to be then it's going to be a rational number. I'm just going to put an R or an I in these to save a little bit of time. You can do the same. All right, number 2, we have 8.5 plus pi. So 8.5, that is rational because it's a terminating decimal. But remember, pi is irrational. So the entire sum is going to become irrational. All right, number 3. We have 3/5 minus the square root of 100. 3/5 is just it's a fraction with 2 rational numbers, so that's rational. And then the square root of 100, let's think of that it can be a perfect square. What times what is equal to 100? 10 times 10. So this right here is equal to 10. And because 10 then is a terminating decimal, or it's that whole number, this is going to be rational. All right, number 4. Number 4 has a square root of 5 minus 2. Let's think about the square root of 5. Is there something times something that's the same number that could be equal to 5? No, there's not. And so this is irrational, even though this part right here is rational. Because the square root of 5 is irrational, the whole thing is going to be irrational. Number 5, we have negative 14 times 1/3. All right, negative 14 is just an integer. It's and 1/3 is rational. So the entire thing, because it doesn't have any part that is irrational, the whole thing is going to be rational. All right, number 6. We have negative 12.4, which is a terminating decimal, divided by square root of 80. Well, is there a number times a number that's the same number that's going to make that 80? And the answer to that is no. So because that part right there is irrational, the entire piece is going to be irrational. All right, number 7. We have the square root of 9 all over 25. Well, in order for it to be rational, the entire part, so this can kind of be written like this. The square root of 9 all over the square root of 25. And so if you take the square root of 9, the square root of 9 is going to be 3 times 3 is equal to 9. And so that's going to be equal to 3. And then 5 times 5 is equal to 25. And because that is 5, because this is simplified down to 3/5, this is going to be rational. All right, the square root of 1 all over 81. Let's take a look at both of those parts. So you have the square root of 1 all over square root of 81. All right, square root of 1. 1 times 1 is equal to 1, so is 1. 9 times 9 is equal to 81, so 1/9. This is going to be rational. And our last one, we have the square root of 7 and the square root of 49. All right, the square root of 7. What times what could it be equal to 7? Well, there's not the same number. So right here, even though this bottom part here is 7 times 7 is equal to 49, because this top number there is irrational, the entire piece then is going to be irrational. So in this lesson, we took a look at the difference between rational and irrational numbers, and we also took a look at classifying those rational numbers.